What is up, guys? I'm Esso, and yes, I'm actually back. After about 3 years, I'm actually back recording another video here. And it happens to be at the perfect timing for the FIFA 20 demo to come out. There's a FIFA 17 demo that I kicked this channel off last time, and well, that's not really and this time it's a FIFA 20 demo that we're kicking things back off with again, a whole 3 years later. And it's been a long spell away, and I finally thought I would get back in, I'd give this another crack. Now that I've got the time, I've got a bit more resources, I've got a proper permanent setup now. And as you can see, Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund is going on in the background. I'm not actually going to be playing this match, it's just going to be simulated. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this game. And the fact that it's been 3 years. Where have I been? Well, I finished my study. Oh, Benzema. Oh, nearly scoring right away. I now have a job. Now working 5 days a week in a job I quite enjoy. I like the people there. It's pretty great. I was studying before, obviously. I was recording using just barely the PlayStation. I was using my phone for face cam, and I was just using Audacity for game sound. Now I've kind of got everything wrapped up in a more professional sort of professional. It's not really that professional. I don't get paid for this. But a nice setup. I've got an Elgato. I've got a proper mic. I've got a camera to record. Permanent setup here, not just in front of a TV on a beanbag somewhere. And yeah, the new game, FIFA 20, coming out in 2 weeks. Pretty crazy that we're at FIFA 20 now. I remember like 2010 feels like, what, a year ago, 2 years ago? Feels like we only just got FIFA 10, but yeah, FIFA 20 coming out now. The gameplay, as you can see from on screen, being a bit slower. It's actually what I liked about PES this year, having played PES, a little bit slower gameplay. The game felt a bit more spaced out, and I was like, man, maybe I could actually give PES a go. Then once I played this FIFA, I was pleasantly surprised to see what I liked from PES actually transitions into this game. And you can see on field, it's a little bit slower, like I said. Yeah, it's a bit more realistic. The players feel like they're maybe moving a bit more like they would in real life. There's some more realistic movements. It's almost a bit more simmy. But in a good way, rather than like FIFA 19 was a bit more simmy in a bad way. Wow, jeez. Alright, sorry about the background noise. But the defence also feeling more organised. Look at Dortmund right now, look at how they're sitting. It's actually like they're ready to defend. And as I say that, we nearly see a goal there. Players looking great, but I will say, if you haven't checked out the PES demo, chuck that on your console, have a look at how amazing that looks. Like, FIFA looks good, PES this year though is something on another level. This looks great. Another thing, PES's passing has always been really crisp, but I found it was almost too OP, it was too accurate. FIFA this year, finally, not every pass is a laser beam. As you can see on screen right now, the ball actually takes a little bit of a bobble. It's a bit realistic, like harder passes tend to lift off the ground a little bit. And it's one of those things I really like, that attention to detail on little things like that. And they seem to have really nailed that down this year. And it just makes the football feel more realistic, more authentic, makes you feel like you're more watching a real game rather than watching some computer game, which obviously it's never going to quite feel like watching a regular game. But they're getting pretty close at the moment. Another thing, I've got a list of stuff here that I wanted to talk about. The passing being crisp and bowling was one of them. Positioning just seems to be a bit better. You can see like the 4 defenders, the midfielders moving back to actually cover, and look at the players that they're trying to pick up. Maybe not the best example right there, but they're trying to pick up the right players, they're trying to move back, they're kind of moving across together. The defending that EA talked about being smarter, and the same with attacking positioning, attacking and whatever, being smarter, it actually transitions onto the field, and we actually really got a big change this year. I would say my only problem would almost be goalkeeping. I've had a couple of moments where I'm like, wow, is that really the standard of goalkeepers we're getting? And then I've had other moments where I'm like, man, okay, that was a good save, like that was solid. Obviously, this is just a demo, but I'm quite curious to see how goalkeepers end up this year. And largely, Dortmund have a goal, Marco Reus. as I was about to start saying, shooting feels a lot more realistic, a lot more crisp. It feels like if you get a lot of space and a lot of time, the players are really going to be able to put a lot more power on the ball, maybe some more curve for finesse shots, and just be a lot better with their shooting. And that's something I feel like we haven't seen properly done yet in FIFA. It seems like even if you're free, if you put 3 bars of power on it, it could blaze over the bar, or it could just go way wide. Now I feel like if you put 3 bars of power on it and you're in a lot of space, you're still going to hit the target, it's still going to work out for you. Whereas if you're under pressure, it might just scuff and go high and wide and whatever. So it feels like they've really started to reward you for finding space, being open, which is quite nice. And yeah, like, I've always been a FIFA player. I've been playing FIFA for, it's got to be 13 years now. 13, 14 years now, I think. I'm 22. It's been 13, 14 years, been most of my life. And this has been the first year I was like, okay, Pez, I've said in previous years, Pez has been worth having a look at, but just not quite done it for me. This year, I think if Pez is somewhat sort of your style of gameplay, it's by far going to knock FIFA out of the park, if that's what you like. And I recommend everyone giving it a go. I'm not trying to kill off FIFA here, but yeah, I just thought this year both Pez and FIFA have really hit the nail on the head, and I think it's been fantastic to really get hands on with both demos so close together. I didn't realise the Pez demo was out so early, and the FIFA demo's only been out for like 24 hours or something now. And it's been fantastic to get to see both demos so early. And you see the keeper playing it safe there, things like that. I feel like the keepers have almost played it a bit safer. They're not quite as dumb, but then there are other moments where they're absolutely shocking. So I want to find out how some other people find it, and maybe get a game or two in with some friends and see what it's like when you're actually 1v1 against each other. Because it's definitely felt like a bit of a different game this year. Feels crisp. I don't really have any major complaints yet, but that's only coming from like maybe like 5 or 6 games. So we'll have to see how it goes as we get further on through. But yeah, it's good to be back. I'll also let you guys know, Modern Warfare beta for that's coming out soon. Make sure you stay in touch, because I will definitely have some Modern Warfare beta gameplay that comes out in like, I think like 24 hours, or like 12 hours. It's not even 24 hours away now. So I will definitely have some of that coming for you. I've pre-ordered it for the PS4, so I will get it. I will get early beta gameplay of that. It will be free for everyone in like a day or 2, I believe, after it comes out initially. But if you pre-order it, you'll be able to get on it from 3 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So Friday, whatever the date is now. What is the date? It's the 12th. So Friday the 13th at 3 AM. So technically, that is tonight. You know what I mean? So it is Thursday. When I'm recording this, you'll probably see it Friday, I'm going to assume. So it should be out now. If you're going to be playing the Modern Warfare beta, you should be able to witness that go live before this video comes out. I'm not too sure. As you can see, the second half kicking off, and just pay attention to the way the players like move positionally. They kind of hold. The defense doesn't just charge up and leave gaps anymore. The midfield kind of just, they hold that line. They don't just run up like they used to and allow you just to ping balls between the lines and just straight away score on the break instantly. Which is something that was almost too easy to do on the last FIFA. Benzema just missing a beautiful opportunity to play the ball through. Yeah, this game feels crisp, it feels so fresh, it feels so different. So yeah, so keep an eye out for Modern Warfare. There's going to be a Manchester United career mode come out on here the second this game comes out. I will have that up and running. What else? I've recently invested in a gaming PC thanks to a friend of mine, and so we're going to see some Rainbow Six Siege coming your way on PC, so that should be pretty good. I've only just started playing that on PC. I played a little bit on PS4, but PC is a different sort of game. I find that the skill level's a bit higher, but the casual gameplay is a lot more casual than what it is on console. On console, people seem to take casual so serious, and they're like real sweaty tryhards. but not so much on PC. It's still there, but just not as much from what I've found so far. So there'll be that, FIFA and Modern Warfare. If there is anything else you want to see, or I mean, it's probably not going to be too relevant right now. But when games come out, if anyone wants to see anything, hit me up in the comments, let me know. I'll try and get my hands on it, I'll play it. I will play as much as I can. I think I said it earlier in the video, I'm working 5 days a week in my current job. So that does take up a bit of time, but I'm going to try and get as much out as I can. I'm aiming for 1 video a week. I think that's doable with the time I have on my hands now. Hazard with a free kick. With the time I have on my hands, 1 video a week should be pretty reasonable. Yeah, I think I might try for 1 a week, and we'll see how we go. Actually, I'm kind of bored of just sitting around watching this game. I might just pause it quickly. Am I able to select sides? I can. I'm actually going to go Real Madrid for the rest of this game. Yeah, I'm going to go Real Madrid for the rest of this game. I'm going to try and pull it back.
Tremendous defensive intuition from Sergio Ramos.
Let me just turn off the trainer real quick. So the trainer's on by default, which is obviously good for brand new players. Excuse me, but maybe not necessarily so good for the more advanced player. You will need to remember to turn that off every time you load up the demo, because it's one of those things that the demo won't save your settings. Yeah, I also feel like you can't just sprint in this FIFA anymore either. Oh, here we go. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. Oh, good save from the keeper. I mean, it was kind of straight at him. It's going to be hard too to turn this around. I don't have much time. Not even a whole half. I think not even half an hour when I took over.
They're behind in the game, but for how much longer?
And they are on the move again.
Great tackle. Let's get that ball out. Cruz, look at Modric.
They don't normally need a second invitation to give it a go on the counter.
And tackling, feels like you actually win the ball back in this FIFA. When you actually make the tackle. Yeah, like that. Actually winning the ball back rather than it just bouncing it back to another attacker. Oh, here we go. Luka Modric. Please, son. Get away. Oh, he lets fly, but it's saved well. Should go for a corner. Here we go. I haven't taken many corners or free kicks or anything in this game yet. With the new free kick system, I haven't mentioned that. That feels amazing. Being able to control the spin you put on the ball, top spin, knuckle balls, curved free kicks, that feels flipping fantastic. I'm so glad they've overhauled it completely, because it feels amazing. Oh, have a hit, son. Maybe that was not on. Less than 10 minutes to go to turn this match around. But I feel like FIFA 20 could really revive the FIFA series. It's kind of felt a bit dead and a bit worn out, almost a bit old school. It's not quite redone enough, or revamped enough, I should say, recently. But oh, what a save from Roman Burki. Here we go. Luka Modric, find Benzema. Oh, he ran. Oh! It goes in! Yes! We've done it. We've drawn level. Karim Benzema with the goal. I thought I was fouled. I didn't think that was going to remotely go in the net. And what even happened? The slide tackle kind of helped it in? What actually happened to it? I think I was somewhat taken out, but my trailing foot looks to have just sliced the ball and maybe put it in the back of the net. That's a crazy goal, but it has gone its back level. I have managed to save it somehow. And yeah, Karimas this year are going to be interesting. I feel like this might be a year when you can smack the poor teams, but the good teams are going to give you a real run for your money. Oh, here we go. Benzema clean through. Benzema double! In the last 3 minutes, we take the victory. Let's go. Man, I don't think I've ever had goals in this game that close together. Yeah, my 5 or 6 games, my goals have been really spread out, like 1 in each half, or maybe like 2, but it takes 30 minutes between goals. And new shooting animations, I feel like they're a bit more realistic. A bit nicer. The ball doesn't go flying around the net when it hits the back of the net now either, with the like sort of that looser net tension. I'd be interested to see what that's like when it gets tighter.
Well, the dramatic moment near
but
the end,
wow, look at that. 2 goals, or what it looks like in a minute, but in 3. we actually take the victory. I do also have plans at the conclusion of this game. I do have plans to create a little tournament with the six teams in here. I've just done the draw for how that tournament will sit. You guys will see that coming out soon. But this has been Esso, finally back after 3 years with some FIFA 20 demo gameplay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.